Hello and welcome, it's Dr. Fred Frizzle here today, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about is magic real? So it's a very broad topic, so I've listed a few key things just so that my video flows nicely, and just so that you can really gauge and understand about each individual factor involved. Um, I've only listed a few. There's obviously hundreds and hundreds of people who've come up with their own theories related to this, and my theory, to be honest, I don't have a theory as such, but the reason why I'm making this video, the whole purpose of it, is to enable you to be able to think and make up your own theory, or agree with someone's theory, or sort of confer with your friends about what theories you all believe in. So the target audience for this video, there isn't a particular target audience. We're going to be talking to you a lot about how magic is a belief, and how it sort of represents itself in various things. Um, I'll probably end up making a series on this right anyway, so I'm going to go straight into discussing movies. So supernatural things. So this whole idea of supernatural is the idea of things that cannot be explained. Um, so so supposing a lot of people regard supernatural as things like spells and religious sightings in the sky and stuff, but it doesn't have to be. And here's the thing: there's a lot of things that can't actually be explained by science at this moment in time, which is why we can't gauge whether this whole idea of supernaturality is actually real. Because, take for example the human being. There's coding, as I haven't discussed yet with you too much about genetic information and stuff, but I have mentioned it in one of my last videos to do with biology. And this whole idea of biology is the genetic makeup of humans. The reason why I'm discussing this now is because the genetic information contains instructions on how to make people, essentially. And these instructions, although they're actually although they're in the nucleus of cells, originally that code must have been put there by something. And this whole idea of there being an intelligent designer, if you like, which is what William Paley suggested, this whole idea of there being an intelligent designer means that it actually means that things can be um, that it means that there can be a designer and there can be biology as well. So this whole idea of people saying that magic is completely separate from science, in a way, they're almost related, because supposing there is magic, supposing at the start of everything in the universe there was a higher power who's capable of magic to design these genetic codes and stuff. Supposing that's the case, over time, yes, there's going to be genetic variation, yes, there's going to be natural selection, which is where survival of the fittest animals. So there's not going to be the original created animals, assuming that God is this high being and He created the original beings and animals and plants and stuff. Like, assuming He created it, there's not going to end up. There's still going to end up being specialised versions of that are the very fittest and that are the naturally more able, if you like. So we mustn't sort of rule out the idea of magic too quickly, because there's no evidence to suggest that this higher being is not capable of doing magic. And the reason why I'm mentioning a higher being is because people have come to believe in this higher being known as God. Now, I say come to believe in because it is just a belief at the end of the day. Like Christians will tell you that there is a God, some really devout Christians, but in fairness, they have no actual proof that God exists. It's like there's no scientific facts to suggest that God does exist, and there's no magical facts to suggest that science exists. And this is why these two things almost appear to be conflicting, because one can't be used to explain the other. Now, the purpose of this video is not to offend people, and anyone who believes in God, I'm not disagreeing with God at all. I think God is a perfectly valid argument. But the fact is, we need to understand that God is a belief. Now, God is not necessarily real. I'm not saying God isn't real. I'm saying it's a belief. So if you choose to believe that God's real, that's fine. And this whole idea of like natural selection and the adaptations of animals can fit in with this belief. You don't have to believe in Charles Darwin, or you don't have to believe in God. Like Charles Darwin, ruled out the idea of God, but he didn't really have much evidence to rule out this idea of intelligent design, because his theory of evolution suggests that God didn't create all the animals because because some of them have been derived from the process of natural selection, if you like. But the very fact that these are derived from natural selection means that the God who supposedly created everything may have just coded for this genetic information to be passed on to future generations, and it might have led to the natural selection. So God might be the one original domino, I'm going to use this analogy now, that like God might be the first card, if you like, in a series of domino, like a domino setup of cards that triggers off everything. It may be the initial starter mechanism for life and this idea of natural selection. So God may start it all off, and Charles Darwin's theory may be correct on how it develops, and God may have designed how it's going to develop. God may have come up with this idea of natural selection. God may have thought this through, and he may know that right now there's natural selection going on, and he might have decided already what natural selection is going to happen in the future, and we're just explaining this natural selection using science and saying that there cannot be such thing as God because it disagrees with what God says of everything being created. But just because God didn't directly create everything, it doesn't mean that he didn't create it. And we have to, there's a very subtle difference here, but we have to almost cast our minds back to millions of years ago, which obviously we can't do, which is why these arguments prove so much of a problem, because we don't know what started off the universe. Well, we say it's a Big Bang theory. Well, let's just take this analogy apart for a minute. So supposing you've got a load of particles, they come together and they form this Earth landmass, and that collision creates the force of life, if you like, and then from there it's repercussions. But what actually enables these particles to collide, scientists honestly don't know. But they say now that the universe is expanding. Well, what's making it expand? That there's not enough evidence to back up any of these theories. So science, although science has evidence to back up loads of scientific facts and loads of genetic coding and why we are as we are, this process of natural selection, how we've supposedly like developed from monkeys into humans, this whole idea does not go against God. And this is what people say, and it drives me mad, people saying it. That's why I'm making this video, because God doesn't have to just have created everything as it is. He might have created the first thing that evolved into everything. It may say in the Bible, I don't know, I haven't read the Bible, but it may say in the Bible that certain animals, all the animals have been created by God, for example. But the Bible is for interpretation. It's not. I don't personally believe that it's just full of facts, because if it was full of facts, then it might as well just be a science book. And the Book of God is not a science book. It's not meant to be 100% accurate. I don't personally believe. Some people may believe that it is, and it may be 100% factually accurate from the theory that's being represented. But the fact is that God may have created all these complex things by designing that genetic code, and that's the key idea that I've sort of got to from this video. I wasn't intending to at the start end up on that note, but that's just a conclusion that's come naturally to me as I've been discussing this with you. So this whole idea of interpretations of these particular factors, I've interpreted it in my way, and I think now, thinking about it, that there is such thing as God, and God's what started off everything, and it's been a process of Charles Darwin's idea of natural selection, William Paley's domino effect. It's been like the idea of intelligent design. The first thing was designed by an intelligent thing, and future generations of people with the natural selection that they go through may have been as a result of intelligent design originally, and that's what I believe in. But you may choose to believe in other things. And this idea of magic is just anything that can't be explained by science. It's not somebody waving around a magic wand saying hocus pocus. And this is another part of the reason why I made this video. It's because I saw a video the other day, and it was this guy like saying magic is real, and it was showing this person like disappearing and appearing someone else. Anyone can do that with computer effects, can make someone disappear. They can just sort of add in a computer effect, which means that they're not in the background. Anyone could do that, and that was just a silly video. But this video, this whole idea of magic is just, I've actually analysed with you the definition of the word magic, and it's just something which goes against the laws of science, or or cannot be explained by the laws of science, is how I prefer personally to refer to the idea of magic. So I hope this video has sort of made you think that the key isn't to teach you stuff in this video. Although you may have learnt who William Paley is, you may not have known that before he was the idea of this idea of intelligent design. This video is all about thoughts, so I hope this has enabled you to think a bit more, and hopefully actually come up with your own interpretation, whether there is a God or not. Right, so I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably continue with my biological series, because I have made a lot of biology and science videos, which is primarily what I do. But I just wanted to make this because I thought it's such an interesting topic, and if you have any comments that you want to add, or you want to, I'm sure there's still some people who like comment and like say that I'm totally wrong, and that there is such thing as God, but I'm not. I am just analysing the facts in one particular way, and I'm not saying that I'm right at all. I'm not. In fact, I'm not even going to say that I'm right, because that will cause loads of arguments in itself. So to be honest, this whole video is about coming up with your own argument, not about arguing against me, but about coming up with your own interpretation of whether you think that there is a God. So I hope this video has given you insight into that, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.